Hello and welcome back to Project Incenssion. I'm your host Andrew Mallet, and this is a quick update of what is happening today. And go on and say hello, Patty.
Good evening, folks. It's been a rather exciting day out there today, folks. We watched, all sorts of fun stuff go on in the skies. We have globes passing us by close. We had, like this one here in Mayhill, New Mexico. All kinds of ships up there. Other globes. It's off the side here now.
And for the naysayers, we'll say, well, how do you know that's that?
Because there isn't anything else up there in the sky that's that big.
Okay.
That's a planet size.
Yeah.
We had spaceships getting shot up. Let's see. This one here shows the ship getting shot up, coming into place there, boom. And then it crashed. And we caught where it crashed. Right there. Came right down, right at the observatory in their field. Yeah, right into the ground. Notice it's part of the trees.
That's that purple streak coming down?
Yeah. Pulled right out of the sky.
Wow.
This is King's Observatory, Ahtahkakoop. That's it getting destroyed.
Well,
now it's in Plattsburgh, New York, so it's traveling south. Blew up in the sky shot up in the sky over New York, landed in Georgia.
do you know who that was doing it or did it or
No, I don't recognize it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's been all kinds of fun stuff on the all sky today. Got where is it here? Should have kept more of these open. Southwest. We had one in Naples, Italy, too. Fast mover. And bear in mind, this is at night.
And what is that?
A spaceship. Fast mover.
For the
Dark out there.
for the people saying, well, how do you know what that is? You could be anything. What is your reply to that?
Take a look upstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, I show the stuff to people, and it's it's recorded. If you choose to look at it and say it's bogus, and not go up and look for yourself, as you see, this is that one that got in the firefight. You can actually see part of the firing going on.
Wow.
So I mean, this isn't in one camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This kind of stuff's in multiple cameras. If it's high enough above orbit, yeah, you can catch it with more than one. Like this one here. See the mover there?
Yeah, yeah.
We caught that on multiples too as it went around the globe. The stuff's coming in here on the left. That's a big planet size. I'm trying to figure out where it was that we got a good look. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and this one we got a ship hanging in space right here over CERN.
Wow.
It hasn't moved.
That's pretty hard to fake that.
And it's black.
Yeah.
Everything else moves, but it.
And that's not on camera.
It's actually gotten bigger.
I mean, that's not dirt on the camera, right?
No.
It's just hovering there.
Yeah. Weird stuff going on at CERN today, too. They opened their panel to take a look. Where was the other one there? No, not that one. A lot of these have clouded over since. And that's a bug. When a bug comes, that's a bug, and you see the globe coming on screen, and there's a bug there.
They must have been.
I mean, this globe went right around the planet. See, up
Yeah.
down below the horizon. So that's a big one. I don't know if we're going to be able to catch it now. It was on earlier, and they don't let you roll these things back, so no, it's already past Arizona. I have to go something down South America way to catch it now. See what we got. Let's try Spain. No, not visible in Spain. So we're going to stay more South America then. Brazil. Possibly. Oh, too far south.
What's the purple on the bottom left? East, where it says east in the middle screen? Yeah.
That's on the ground.
Oh, okay.
It's on the ground right there. Something lit up. If we got anything higher up than that now? It's a shame we missed it because it was a really good one. If I can't still find it, I'll do the. I'll bring up a picture of those that I saved. Yeah, because it was in here earlier. Mayhel. See, there's the backdated.
Yeah.
You see it right there. It was around 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Wow. And what is a planetoid or?
It's a planetoid. It's not Nibiru. It ain't big enough to be Nibiru.
Yeah.
Okay, for people who don't know, Nibiru is 6 times the size of Earth. So
Yeah, it'd be pretty easy to see.
we had something up here too, if I remember correctly. All we got is a bump now. Oh, they've already pushed it past. No. These are target of opportunities, but you got to be actually online to catch most of these.
Right.
Here's another confirmation of that one. It was in the Mars cam in California. There.
Wow. And what about the people that say, "Oh, that's just camera glare"?
Under a lot of circumstances, I would agree with you. If the sun's here and the thing is here in front of it, towards you,
Yeah.
that's away from it.
Right.
Wrong direction.
But I like to get it on the actual video.
Yeah, and when it shows here, you could tell where it is, and it was traveling in a completely different direction than the sun. Normally, yeah, if the sun goes down here, you'd get a sundog. If there's a sundog on the lens, as the sun goes one way, the sundog goes exactly the opposite. And you got to remember, these things are pointed up into the sky. These are not shooting across, so you don't generally get those type of sundogs.
Right.
And these are designed to look at the sky. So, let's see. I'll bring up captures I did earlier. See, these things are pretty.
Wow.
It's leaving a tail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. That's right in your face.
Yeah. That means it's hitting the atmosphere, and it was pretty big. Multiple cameras. I mean, that's a globe.
Yeah. That's really cool.
See, I mean, we caught in multiples.
Which one is that? Which one is that over?
Huh?
Which camera is that over? Do you remember? That's today.
I forget which one that was. Come on. Mayhill. That's the second. I did 3 on 2 in Mayhill and 1 in Moscow, California, and then the one out west. This was the one we caught early in Vancouver. This was a ship taking off. You can see it there, just starting to leave the trees.
At 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 1 o'clock. Yeah, and then it's right here, and then the next. See, it was up in the air.
Wow.
I caught it. Panorama. See.
On the right. Yeah.
And you see where your sun leaves a beam and the shine. So if there was going to be sundog, it'd be here.
Right.
Way over there. Yeah, this is the earlier shot of. You see what I mean? This thing is actually moved closer because it's smaller in this shot. So that means it's actually drifting towards the camera.
That's a clear one there.
Yeah. And it's gotten bigger, so it means it's slightly drifting towards the camera.
Do you know if that's malevolent or benevolent?
I hope it's one of ours. Honestly, if they take out CERN and Brookhaven, which is the one that really needs to be taken out.
That one that says Cube died, is that recent or when is that taking?
Yeah, that's today. What is this? Right there. 12:42 today. Next frame, boom, gone.
Oh.
It was down there, and it jumped around a little bit, came in close, bam, gone. A lot of ships out there died today.
Yeah.
It's been a busy day.
Go ahead and say hello, Karen.
You want me to say hello, Karen? I'll say peace. How's it going? Oh, Tanzi.
You didn't. Yeah, this is. I meant to send this before I left tonight. I saw where this thing came down, Karen, right on the observatory's field.
Yeah, that's
In
Whereabouts was that,
Georgia,
Pattie?
Valdosta, Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah, came right down in the field. See, in front of the trees, bam, right into the ground.
Now, is that a ship or pieces of ship? Blown up ship?
What's left of a ship?
Yeah.
That's the one that gets shot up. You see the blue up there where it,
Yeah.
another blue up there. Right here. Right there. There's another one.
I can tell you're enjoying yourself.
With
quite
a bunch of other
videos.
ships over here heading for it. So that's not the only one. So you get a bunch of ships over here that go heading for the next one.
Yeah, there's a lot of... We're getting...
We thought we saw a craft
If you,
right here.
if you look at this one before it gets shot up, it comes in, it looks blue.
Like I said, we're getting a lot of help from our galactic family members.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to. I just want to show that's the collection of what I've collected. This is actually, this substance is all over the ground here. And it's all over the water. As far as I can see, all the waters and lands are here now.
Yeah.
This flew in from whatever Fort McMurray or whatever was coming in. And it's been 5 days on the ground, at least 3 or 4 since I've been here.
And the interesting thing about
Yeah.
the Fort Murray fire, this is thermal. We've got fires here, and everything, but how is it that there's this big ass fire up there and no heat plume?
Inquiring minds would like to know, so it's not a
I mean, so you're using
thermal.
a cold chemical fire is what it is. That means it's set and being managed on purpose to burn out the tribal families. That's what that means, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because there's, unless they do that with a purpose, there's no way to get a fire and not have thermal plume. I'm sorry. You don't get a fire without a thermal plume. And if you zoom back, you can see around the globe where all the fires are. Okay, there's a lot of them. Where the volcanoes are and all the rest.
And we're on the left. Africa, middle.
Yeah.
Australia on the right.
This is the United States.
Yeah.
And this is the heat plume of Detroit, and that's Toledo. So, it's, there's no fires up here. So, I mean, Fort McMurray is what, like right here, isn't it, Karen? Roughly?
No, we'd actually be
What?
well, you're looking at Hudson Bay, so you need to go way over. To the left, to the left, to the left, please.
Hang on, let me zoom back out. Does this just keep going in and in?
Yeah, that's on the more the East Coast. We're closer to the middle.
No, because that's the East Coast is way out here. This is that one square goes more than 3/4 of the way across Canada.
Yeah, it's a little bit up along that ridge is the Rocky Mountains here that you're seeing here on the left, on that far left one.
This line is 3/4 of the way across Canada. Right here. Okay. What it is when you do the click on any one square, the other square here goes all the way up, covers Alaska and everything. You get grid squares. When you click on one, this one here is more than 3/4 of the way across Canada, not quite all the way over to the east side, but click on there. I mean, there's no fire. Right?
So there is a fire, it's just not showing up on thermal, correct?
And how do you have a fire without thermal?
Right.
How do you have a fire without heat?
Unless it's like
Chemical.
right,
The
chemical.
only fire, yeah, the only fire you can get without heat is a chemical fire.
Which is deliberately set. I mean, if this is residual stuff coming off all over the ground,
Yeah.
this is not ash from a thermal burn.
Hold on. Stop sharing for a moment, Patty. Now, go ahead and show that, Karen, your picture and the other thing.
Yeah, this is actually the actual substance that we collected up here. It's all over the water, on the
Okay.
water edges. It's right on the ground. And this particular sample that I got collected actually today was collected out of the rain barrels. So all this substance, it's kind of gold. It looks something like cornflakes, kind of like, you know, nutritional yeast and cornflakes floating on the top like a cake. And then what I did is just kind of got it in a sieve and just basically air dried it for an hour or two and just put it into the bag and sealed it up. So you can actually see it's like a yellow cake almost.
Now,
And it doesn't burn. We attempted to burn it with actually a match. Well, we tried two different things. One of the guys tried apparently butane. I tried a match myself. This doesn't burn.
Now, coincidentally, we had yellow flames coming off that fire. And I'm going to redo the screen share here so I can show the other picture. You see, folks, this stuff, which is remarkably the same as what she's got in that bag.
Yeah.
This is sodium sulfate.
And where is that from?
No, this is brand new sodium sulfate. You can buy this.
Right. It's just.
Where did I collect this? Is that what you're asking?
No, I mean, what Patty just showed us, I want people to know where that's from. And it's so similar to what you just showed in the plastic Ziploc bag. It says on the ground.
And the funny thing is, sodium sulfate, when you do burn it, it burns and leaves a yellow cloud.
Yeah.
Sodium and sulfur are the only two things that you can burn and get yellow smoke. What do you know about
yellow.
that?
Yeah.
In fact, the joke was I better not mix it into my food bag. Everyone's laughing. They said, you better tag that appropriately because I'm teaching raw foods and they don't want me to mix that up with any herbs or mustard.
So they've contaminated all the water supply, basically.
Yeah, that's actually what we're seeing here. And what I'm seeing is a lot of EMFs and stuff too, and a lot of things targeted at these areas too, in these different tribes, reservations.
Where at?
Been through all the things like Big River, Ahtahkakoop right now, Muskeg areas the last few days.
Yeah.
In the Fort McMurray vicinity.
Even up to the Waskasiu, what they call the provincial, but the national park up here too. So I've been going Chittook Lake everywhere else in the north in different areas here, Sandy Lake. You know, we're going to hit all the different areas up in the area.
And just for gigglies, we're going to go to Fort McMurray. Just so, in regards to where that lake is,
It's not moving.
We out in the areas like in what they call Ahtahkakoop and stuff out in this area. I mean, right to Fort McMurray. You know, even Saskatoon was like less than 600 kilometers. So, and we've had reports of people on the East Coast actually smelling and tasting it. Even the Saskatoon area and through all what they call the Nisqually, but the Cree nations, it's all through here. You know, and just my experience in the last 72 hours out in this area is I'm picking up lots of different people. They've got unknown rashes. They've been diagnosed with skin, you know, cancer, all sorts of things, lesions. You can see not just bad bacteria and propionic bacteria and stuff, but I mean stuff that looks like Morgellons with people that I've seen with Morgellons out here.
Yeah.
Which also leads me to some questions about also the blood type, right? If tribal are also usually, you know, a positive blood type, RH, I have actually met a few people now that said they were with the indigenous tribes, yet they're RH negative. So they're obviously not of original tribal origin.
you see where Fort McMurray is.
Well,
And by the way, Morgellons is usually seen in Rh negative people, not in tribal people. So
You see,
there's some very,
Fort McMurray's right
alarming
there.
sort of things going on here.
And just for giggles, I'm gonna zoom out. Where is it? There are no fires there. None.
up in the upper left.
Up here.
Yeah, in Canada area.
There's no fires. Fort McMurray is right there. It's
We have
below
no
the level of the
screen
lake.
share, just to let you know.
Huh? You
No
don't?
screen share. There we go. Yeah, we're on now.
Yeah, I got it.
Fort McMurray's right there. No fire.
Yeah, no fire. Up in the upper left was Canada, up in there.
It would be here. In one of these two screens. There's no fire. There's no fire. Or if there's a fire there, it's a cold fire. But they ain't showing up on thermal.
Yeah. So it's, what is it? It's actual whatever they put in the air then, atmosphere?
It's a sodium sulfate. That's what she's picking up off the ground and off the water and everything. So sodium sulfate. Now we can go look at it. We've got smoke there. So what's the smoke coming from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, who created it? And the other thing too, I was, told by some of the people in the local areas that there was 30 head of animals actually that were diagnosed with anthrax and stuff several years ago. So, I mean, we know that's again, that's lab induced. That's not something that's normally occurring.
Right.
So just the fact that we've seen it here, or people bringing in, needles, or bringing in all sorts of different things onto these bounds of reserves too. I mean, that's all against all klan treaty peace agreements internationally through all the international courts as well. So this is obviously genocide and tribicide as far as I'm concerned.
It's showing black, but I don't know. There's a real hard line here. Let's go look at Argus. See? Argus isn't even showing a cloud until you get out this high. So what's with that?
Yeah. But that's where there's supposed to be fire.
Where's all this smoke coming from? And it is smoke. You can definitely see it is smoke.
Yeah.
So what's creating the smoke? Because there's no hot spot. There's a fort.
It's easy to tell the difference between the clouds and the smoke.
Yep.
And what is that right there we're looking at?
That's Fort McMurray.
And what's wrong with that water?
Oh, it's all contaminated now.
What is
Notice
it?
the stripping? Notice the strips?
Yeah.
Right.
What is it?
That's like a patent to the fire. This is a manipulated blaze. And it's a cold fire because there's no heat spot.
And Who's, in your opinion, doing this?
This has got to be in the world order. Burning the tribe off their lands.
Off of the tribal lands.
90% of those houses that are gone, those are all tribal houses, tribal family houses.
And what is the purpose of doing that?
And here's the other oddball thing. They let news media in there, but before they let them in, they all had to sign a non-disclosure agreement that they wouldn't show or speak about anything they saw.
So where's the freedom of the press? And this is well documented. It was on YouTube last week that everyone flying in now has to do. There's no media or reporting, non-disclosure. So whatever is being disclosed, it's being censored totally out of there for the last week or two.
And the scalar going on here.
Yeah, big.
The scalar waves, again, for those people unfamiliar, that's when the HARP sort of towers or electrical magnetic pulses are going in there. You can actually see it rippling, not normal. That's your sonic booms, which were reported, I heard as well, that there were sonic booms that have been heard out of this area as well as a lot of Sasquatch reports and UFOs going out of these lakes. So I think under our feet here.
And to the troll meteorologists that come on, don't come on and say that's normal cloud cover, because that's not. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, don't comment when you don't know.
Oh, they can if they want, because my next trick is going to go on and I'm going to show you all the gases.
Oh, the what?
I'm going to go on and show you all the gases
Oh, okay.
coming off of there. Just to nail the old board home.
You're muted, Karen.
Okay, let's zoom in. There's a cloud, right? Add layers. Let's see what we got for aerosols. Ash plumes and things. Wow, look at that, it's cold. Let's see if there's any sulfur dioxide in there. Let's kill the other one. Ooh, yeah. Look at all the sulfur.
Wow. The orange and yellow is sulfur?
The orange, yep. Orange and yellow. Bingo. Nailed.
So that's been sprayed.
No, that's burning. They're burning sodium and sulfur.
Wow. And that's,
I don't know. I guess they're airdropping it, I would think.
yeah, it's, you know, and that's for deliberate poisoning.
Yeah, and to get the fire to burn where you want it.
And what part of Canada is that in?
Fort McMurray zone.
And there's a lot of tribal there.
And it's getting picked up and carried everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's kill the sulfur. And let's go fires and thermal. Just for gigglies, because this is a different satellite. And, just let's check for fires on that one, too. Let's get rid of the... Well, right there. No fire.
Wow.
Okay, so that's ticking off, it looks like, for fires and thermal anomalies day and night. And you checked off ascending day and night.
No fire.
And also for...
Let's change satellites. no fire. Ain't the satellite that's malfunctioning either.
Yeah. So it's chemical burn.
Yeah.
It's
Throwing a shitload of smoke, but it ain't a fire.
yeah. And that's right over the mostly indigenous.
Yeah, indigenous housing is what's getting nailed. Let me zoom in.
Andrew, like in the actual area up here, around here right now, but in that area, what people think is Fort McMurray and all that thing, Edmonton and your blood tribes and Dene and all the different things here. Ahtahkakoop, you got tons of bands and reserves. So between this and what's happening with the fracking and no water, yeah.
This is all housing.
And that's right where the sulfur cloud is the heaviest.
Yeah.
The bright orange cloud.
The only stuff intact right now is these over here. This stuff's all gone. This is all tribal housing.
When you say gone, what do you mean gone?
There's nothing there anymore but foundations.
So that could also be from a thermonuclear as well, or up to, and chemical.
I would have seen
cold
that.
fusion.
I would have seen that.
Okay, I'm just clarifying, just making sure in case people have any questions here, because we are going to air it.
And this is the USGS satellite I'm tagging now that shows all thermal. And this does show some thermal problems when it loads up. You can see right now the only one on the screen is there in South Dakota, eastern South Dakota. This is ground thermal. That's the only anomaly right now. So, no, ain't no fire.
Yeah. How about, is it hot spots for the lava or no?
I can go to, well, Motor shows all your worldwide. See, there's all your worldwide hotspots.
So one of the things, Andrew, just with all this going on, my thoughts and my advice, as well as for medical practitioner, is that people start, using this and getting alkalized, using essential oils, doing enemas and colonics, raising their vibration, using lots of lavender, tea tree, essential oils, frankincense to protect their brains. I think it's really imperative right now because this is on all the different waters I've seen out here in the perimeter. And I've been on a couple-hour perimeter. I mean, that's what we're doing, is checking the area on the ground, is that they get to find local springs. And I think it's really important because I've been to different areas out here where people thought they had springs. They're not. They're wells or they're creeks. And a lot of times that these springs that they assume there are springs is that they may have cattle on there now, and they've got Roundup and, chemical fungicides and Monsanto on the fields, that these springs aren't usable.
Looks
so
like
people need to find...
burn the rest of Africa. This is about, the only section left here with trees, and they're trying to burn that up too. It's pretty sad.
Right, yes. We can't stress enough, though, of how important it is to get yourself alkaline.
See, this is the only part that's got trees left, and that's where they've got on fire now.
Yeah.
The rest of it's different.
So a lot of the stuff that people presume to be, as they think in their terms, as we think nation to nation, but as people think in the terms of, Alberta, British Columbia, whatever different areas that they are getting it into British Columbia, these are obviously, and we've known about the chemtrails and the Morgellons and everything being dumped on the different areas and logging and different things. So, I mean, it can be very strategically to occur. I'm not saying that you don't have accidents, but you know, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, this does not come naturally. I mean, I've burnt enough the forest and been in the woods enough to, and been camping to know what this is.
Yeah, from
So
what we're showing today, this is pretty much, I mean, in your face planned events.
Yeah. And look at this. This is the other fire that's going on there.
Yeah.
It's the one in Africa. They're burning what's left of the trees. And bear in mind, the oceans, especially the Pacific, pretty much aren't producing oxygen anymore. And a lot of people assume that trees create oxygen. Actually, they don't. They take CO2 and convert it to oxygen. So they can work with what's in the atmosphere. They don't make any new oxygen like the oceans do. The oxygen, your oceans are your oxygen generating plant. Your trees are just your oxygen filter.
Right.
one of the things too, when you're talking about, you know, people getting alkalized, that's really important. I mean, I've had the people here, we've been testing with litmus paper. In fact, I gave an entire rollout in the last 3 days out in these areas. People see where they're at. But again, a lot of it, you know, it affects a lot of the people if they've been eating unclean food. I can't stress the importance of getting people onto superfoods and getting hemp and chia, getting Himalayan salt water every day, finding those springs. It's imperative because you can't filter this kind of stuff out. And so again, not to be treating water to start with in the first place, but it is sending back, you know, to people that have gotten used to or compliant or complacent into having tap water, into having something filtered when they should have been looking after those springs in the first place, so they weren't getting, you know, piped out and stolen for everyone else. So one of the things as well is that we need to come back, and it is pushing people into an awareness, I would say, you know, at least with the people I've seen here, that again, a lot of people that are used to tribal or more natural ways of doing things that have been using herbs and, you know, bare root and muskeg tea and things like that that they're used to, it's not touching this stuff. And so this is where we really need to come into being alkalized and getting these essential oils at least on the skin to try and protect that.
It's some,
you know, and using things like this.
It's something other people need to say too. There is no more snow up there, North Pole. None.
Say that again, you broke up.
There is no more snow at the North Pole. There is none. Absolutely none.
And there's no Santa at the North Pole either because there is no snow. So that's the point. There's no reindeer either, and apparently we'll have very little bears there left either.
That's it, right there. Oh, we got a patch. Got a little patch here and there. That's it.
Zoom out so I can see.
If I zoom out,
oh,
it's gonna go to cloud over image. Because all that water vapor is up there in the sky, but there's nothing underneath. Even in the lakes, very little ice. Even just some a little bit frozen here and there. That's about it.
do you have a satellite that can show you the actual North Pole or South Pole?
North. Oh. But there, pretty much. I'll zoom out and.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
South Pole is always easier, but. Okay, right here. As you see, the satellite doesn't traverse there anymore. I noticed the ISS is traveling a different path these days too.
The what? Say it again.
Yeah, ISS is traveling a different path. I was up to that, looking at that today, and seems to be following the dayline break. It doesn't want to show you on the dark side where you can easily see ETs anymore.
Yeah.
See?
One of the things too, Andrew was going to do is just look a little bit in there and just talk to some of the different people, because we're going to see what happens to with some of the wildlife and different things in here, and notice what we notice with the people in the area. I've noticed they've got caterpillars still in the water thing, but it's only been, you know, a couple days since they're around there too. The sort of tent worms or caterpillars are still around some of the stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what this does, you know, noticing it on the wildlife and stuff too.
Right, right.
Yeah. And the berries and stuff. So I am talking to people too about doing indoor garden towers and stuff like that, and what we can do to fix this, and talk about doing indoor things like, you know, Enclave presented on doing eco-friendly, radiation-proof type of facilities for people to thrive in, you know. And that's the question is what are people going to do with this kind of thing when the earth is contaminated, you know, when there's no food left to eat and no water left to drink anymore? Right. What are they going to do? You know, it is very much like we've got the blue kachina here, but we are seeing it. This is the prophecy times. Like, you know, you can't eat money.
That's exactly right.
Get down below the cloud level, all you see is a black hole there down in the water. Nice. Nice. Nice.
You don't hear that on the propaganda TV news, mainstream media.
No. No ice up there.
There, it looks like ice, but it's not. It's cloud cover.
It's not. Let's cloud cover. I mean, there's ground here. We'll go in with this ground. See how it looked like there was ground? It's not. It's water. It's just water. And yet, that's showing ice.
Right.
You actually zoom the camera down past it. It's no ice there. And of course, this I get the JPL updates, and no, I mean, there is no ice. This looks like, if you zoom in and let it browse, very little. There's that view, historical. Now, look at that. That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's all melting. That's Greenland. Greenland's still got some ice, but it's melting.
So how do we see with the pool? We were just looking up the other night. We could see like the big dipper right above us, so up here for alignment and everything else.
What's that?
How are we sitting with the magnetic north pole and the pole? I was just looking up. We're like straight under the dipper right now here.
Can't do that from here.
Okay, I was just asking if you were able, and the because it's shifting, as you said, to taggishly to the magnetic north pole.
Yeah, the new south magnetic pole is going to be 100 miles, about 100 miles north of Tagish Lake, which is I have it pegged, but we'll do it again.
Right now with this shift too, what about the stuff into the Dakota, like underneath Winnipeg? All that slime coming up.
So there's Tagish. So if we zoom out and look at the ley lines, it'll be right around here. It's going to be the new south magnetic pole. And there's a ley line center. You go there, go the equal distance the other side. That's going to be the new spin point. Somewhere in here. About half of what it is now. Somewhere between 17.5 and 19.5. So the seasons are going to be a lot milder. I know on the South Atlantic, the let me get this right side up here. The magnetic is currently, let's see, out here. And buffing it.
I'd say.
Yeah. And then there's another portion of the South Magnetic that Gaia has introduced to make us wobble that's over here. That's why our magnetic shield looks like a royal nest.
Well, go ahead, Karen.
No, I mentioning stuff too that I'm just thinking along with the changes that we're seeing with the animals and stuff. I mean, how the animals are starting to shift and move from different areas, not drinking in different areas. But again, like stuff like mosquitoes or whatever, but they're picking different, again, contaminated lakes with, this potential, sulfur. And what we're looking at here could be, again, like a mass infection. I mean, they're talking about a lot of different things, even on YouTube or on Facebook right now about, resistant bacteria, even for women now. And these women are all coming down with, some weird bacterial disease. Again, this stuff could be also introduced, no different like the Zika virus and the mosquitoes and stuff being laced and released in different areas. Right. So I think this is a multifactorial thing that we need to look at, and why it's even more important to raise our vibration, having clean food and getting the essential oils right away, into everyone's hands.
Also getting stocked up in the MMS, Master Mineral Solutions, and everything,
Yeah, we're looking at a mass epidemic here, more than likely. Almost like a pandemic. So it's also affecting with the PPAI, and there's something you can feel in the magnetic fields here. I cannot stress out here. And even though I've been around with people that have got smart meters open, this is a different frequency or pulsing out here. And it's quite interesting, Patty, I know if Andrew told you, but just in trying to get Skype or on Zoom, they can actually see the color and the hazing and the pixelation here. And I feel like my brain's getting sapped here.
Well, I mean, look at our planet. From orbit. Yeah. It's never looked so bad.
Yeah.
That looks like you're looking through the eye of a microscope at a
petri dish with the bacteria in it.
Yeah, bacteria.
Well, maybe that's some macro of the Candida, the Nung thing growing all over the place, the PPAI on a different plasmic scale. But
Staphylococcus.
I think that's really important too with having no wireless, because the wireless is going to exacerbate this. Yeah. And so people really to get off the wireless and off the EMF.
They have to.
I'm so grateful. I'm going to be with my roommate camping in a teepee on the ground.
They have to. You're just willingly microwaving yourselves on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's the education process, and again, that's part of the mind control, right?
I mean, how cheap is an Ethernet cord?
Yeah.
$8.
Downloading the update. Let's take a look up for more bit where I can look where I want instead of where the ISS has to be. As you see, I get live updates every time I launch this thing.
Yeah. What are you going to show us now?
I'm going to go air temperature at 10,000 feet.
Okay.
Just for gigglies. See, whatever this is up there at Fort McMurray is creating heat up in the air. A cloud, and that means the smoke is having a chemical reaction once it gets to the remains of the ozone. Because there ain't no hot spot on the ground.
Yeah.
And this is upscale hot at 10,000 feet. So is all this.
That's 50 to 70 degrees from the yellow to the dark orange, correct?
Yeah. Black is more than 72 degrees at 10,000 feet. So we definitely got a chemical reaction going on up there. And that's a cold burn.
All through California and everywhere, too. It's all the black, right?
Well, sulfur, like I said, you get sulfur and sulfur dioxide and everything coming out of volcanoes. There's no volcano up there.
Right.
That's supposed to be a fire. So why is it getting sulfur?
Unbelievable.
Because that stuff reacts with the ozone, what's left of the ozone. So visible Earth. You saw all the ice packet that showed up there? That isn't really there.
Right.
They had to fill it in after. Sea surface salinity. See what the problem is? See all the salt coming out of Lake Lanier?
Right.
Filling up here, and eventually it's getting out here. And it looks like it's coming out of the Everglades, too, isn't it?
Sea surface salinity, salt in the water.
And what happened to... What is going on here?
Right.
This is not one landmass.
That speaks volumes right there. There should be nothing there between Florida and Cuba.
Oh, that means it's -6. That's so full of Corex, it's registering as land.
Wow.
Out here, Patty. Just a question comes up here. Is that when you think about the people, let's say, and we know about the media, that there's no such thing as free media because obviously they want them to all sign notices of non-disclosure, which means they really can't what's going on there, and even to go back into Fort McMurray. Now the point would be, someone said, well, why are there people still back there, or why are they bringing people still back in there? Because from our point of view, basically, people are expendable in their point of view. Is that not correct?
Yeah.
What would your thought? People are expendable. Tribes are expendable. Workers are expendable.
Even the whole east side of the Med is gone with saltless. UK, saltless. And it's starting to happen now off the East Coast of the US. That's pretty sad. And so this is because of all the ice melt. Ice melt's gone. So that's turned it into all fresh water.
Right.
Same thing up here.
And what would be the purpose of all this for people that don't understand what is really going on?
Well, they have the ability to, if you have power, to split water into oxygen, hydrogen. They want to get you to the point where you have to not buy your food, your water, and your air to breathe.
Right.
It's getting to that point. Then they'll have you, and besides that chip, that means you won't even be able to, buy anything black market.
Right.
Soil moisture count.
So if someone comes to chip you, you take that person out.
Yep. See what they're doing? They're deliberately making this whole area up here bone dry.
Yeah, and for the people that don't know what I mean when I say take that person out, God help you. Because they are going to make you into bio robots, slaves with that chip. Go
I
ahead.
feel sorry
I can't
for the-
stress enough too that we're not supposed
The
to be
homeless-
taking any kind of flu shots, anything that could be chipped. Any prescriptions right now are now chipped as well. So it's not just the RDIF, tracking chips. It is actually within the prescriptions and GMO food.
Right.
So anything that's possibly, not wild or superfoods that where that tree is off of, or where that spring is, you are liable and quite possibly getting chipped food. And we do know this about the prescriptions. It's been well known for a long time, and the animals as well.
And here's the sea level. This is where the basin of the floor of the ocean is coming up. It's all coming up here. Coming up here.
Say that again?
This is the ocean floor. White up here is 175 millimeter movement. And this is I've got it on monthly. Let's do a 10-day average. See how much we're getting. That's on a 10-day average.
Wow.
100.
What is causing that?
Normally, when the second sun does a pass by, the Earth expands 15%. Gaia, it didn't do the pass by, they put in a parking of it, but then Gaia had them bring it out and heat up the Earth for a good bit. By the time she had to put it, to make the lava to flood the dumps with, by the time she had them put it back, it passed 24% expansion. That's why we're getting a shitload of heat. Of ocean bed coming up. We're getting sinkholes galore. We're getting holes open in the ocean where it looks like the drain in your kitchen sink,
Right.
and you just pull the stopper out on a full sink of water go down the drain. Yeah, that's what that's about. So it looks like we're going to end up with a good bit more landmass in the end. These are going to reconnect. We got this. This though is actually a column of lava that goes all the way down to the core. I saw that in the lava plot. And this is falling in. And this is falling in because of Deep Well Horizon.
What is that?
Right here, it's coming out. Methane hydrate is coming out. I mean, when they did the Deep Well Horizon punch through, they knew there was no way that they would be able to hold that pressure. Methane hydrate goes solid under pressure, not under temperature. And for years, they were been drilling over along the edge of it to get the oil out from underneath. This time they went out in the middle and just punched a big hole in the top. And of course, it blew out. They don't even have the public technology to hold a pipe in with that kind of pressure. So it's been venting methane hydrate. And that was the whole purpose behind the Lake Pontchartrain event back in 1980. Was it August? Or I think it was August or September of 1980. When they took an oil well and accidentally on purpose punched a hole in Lake Pontchartrain in the the wrong place and punched it into the salt mine. That's why you have all the salt coming out of here. That's the salt coming out of the mines. And bear in mind, those mines, they stored a bunch of stuff like butane and radioactive waste down in those holes after they took the salt out.
Right.
So all that stuff is dumping into the Gulf now too. And to hide the oil slick, they're dumping what's called Corexit, which is a neurotoxin. And all it does is bind to the oil and take it down to the bottom so you don't see it.
Right. Just covers it up.
So that's why all the animals out here are dying, is because although there's plenty of salt, it's all full of Corexit, neurotoxin. And out here, of course, because there's no oxygen. So
Patty, when I was just
it's not a fun sight. Gravity map is getting more and more wacky. Like I said, Gaia intends to break it up here. So it goes to the edge of the big lake down here. Instead of from over here going up to the bottom of Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Gaia's got her own game plan. And you can tell by the gravity map where she's going to break it.
Go ahead, Karen.
one of the things, Andrew and Patty, I just wanted to note too, is that some of the different salt lakes around here, like we've got lots of different what they call therapeutic salt lakes that people use in the areas. What be the effects? Because I know when I went to just go test the pH, it actually looked like black when I put the reagent drops back in. It wasn't the blue or the green anymore. So I mean, also that where previous, let's say, salt had foam, there's no foam or anything on the lake anymore except that yellow sludge from the sulfur or whatever the reagent is.
Well, as this is just water column to get you difference. Green is 0, no change from 1G. Red is with 25 inches water column below the 0 line. That means that's how much heavier the gravity is. So that's going to take all your heavier components of your soil with the shaking and the quaking we're getting and cause it to settle down in. That's going to leave the soil up in these red zones that you can't grow a damn thing in. All the minerals you need to grow plants and stuff are going to be stuck down in and basically push what comes up, sand, something that doesn't hold water. And again, when you look at the water quotient of what we got left, you see the overall effect. This is and that's why the New World Order is you see, this is all bone dry. There's no water in these yellow spots.
Yeah.
No water. Or it's yellow. None. Yellow is barely anything. Orange is none. That's why that site we looked at up here, all these rivers up here, they're all going dry.
Yeah.
There's a little tiny river down the middle of what used to be a 1,600-foot wide river, and the thing looks like you could jump across it.
Now.
I mean, and look at it. I mean, the other continent ain't no better.
Right.
Africa's atrocious. Africa used to be tropical jungle. It used to all be blue like this. There's almost none of it left, and this is that fire where they're trying to burn it all off, so it can't retain any more water.
This is
They're trying to make it look like Mars.
right.
Because they control everything on those kidnapped people that are slave labor on Mars. They control everything, so they're fully under the thumb. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what they want to do here.
Yeah. And things like let's look at the atmosphere. Let's see how much nitrous oxide. Okay, this is from breaking down the ozone. When you throw CFCs up in the atmosphere, it breaks down ozone. It starts a chemical process that even once you stop putting CFCs up there, it takes 2 years for the process to slow down and come to a halt after you stop throwing CFCs. Now, nuclear power plants, where they make the nuclear rods, are pumping 800 tons CFC each plant. And they've been doing it for years. That's why we have no ozone.
Patty, one of the things too, when we're talking about doing underground facilities or enclaves and stuff, how long, and I know people think it's just a temporary thing, but how long would people they're thinking have to be underground? I mean, this is a permanent thing to clean up the planet at this thing, is it not, or what? Until we get some ET help? I mean,
it's going to take a couple hundred years to sort it out.
Say that again.
It's going to take a couple hundred years to sort this mess out.
Yeah.
When everything stops and everybody stops throwing shit up into the atmosphere, even then, the process of all this breakdown up here and creating more hydrochloric acid and chlorine monoxide and nitric acid and everything in the atmosphere continues for another entire 2 years.
Right.
Before you can even begin to reverse anything. Yeah, this is one of the things, when you look at hydrochloric acid, you can see the big pole base hole. Same thing down there. You can see the big pole base hole. For some reason, the holographic cover doesn't project hydrochloric acid figures because it's not supposed to have hydrochloric acid in our atmosphere.
Right, right.
Chlorine monoxide, same thing. It's, you know, the globe has gone purple.
What is that? Chlorine?
Chlorine monoxide. And this next one is going to be nitric acid. This is your acid rain. But the only place that doesn't have much of acid rain is the equator. So, yeah. The South Pole is way worse than the North, but because they're up in they're in the red zone already at the South Pole.
Did you want to stop it there so we don't overload everyone? Because we're at an hour and 11 minutes. We could do another one maybe tomorrow or the next day.
Sure.
You know what I'd love to do is bring some of the different information that we have to. And, you know, I was just talking with some different friends here. And one of the things is we talk about whether you think of the shift from the third dimension to the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension. One of the things in the prophecies and in the Clan Mother books, it talks about the time walkers, or they call it the time travelers, soul journey, whatever, the time of purification or the great migration. That we're maybe looking at something like, again, that's a little bit different, whether people think you're moving from 3D to 4D to 50, and that this is part of that old, if you want to say paradigm, or part of the shift. And
Yeah.
as the, you know, this is something in the Meredith Quinn, what we call, there's our Meredith Quinn tribal laws. There's many books out there, whether it's Bear Clan, Eagle Clan, different things along that line. And then basically, you know, the present minus the past is the future, actually. There's like a time equation.
This shows no fire either.
So maybe that's something I'd like. I've got some different people here that are really well versed in some of the indigenous or tribal prophecies, kind of like the Hopi prophecies. So it might be kind of fun to look at that. And so this is an old paradigm or way of doing things, an old system. So this is why I thought it might be kind of interesting. You know, what kind of light is it, or you know, as we're talking about the old light, and are we sitting in true light or, you know, true energy, that kind of thing.
Right.
I know Patty knows a little bit about well, Patty knows quite a bit about the prophecies too, you know, on that. But again, there's a time equation, and this is where we're able to walk through time Into the holies of holies is what
It's
people
one of the
use.
things we're trying to shut down the New World Order from doing. If you look here, they got an actual shield around it. No gases, no nothing, because right here is Brookhaven.
Right there is what?
Brookhaven. Cyclotron. The one we've been trying to shut down for a long time. It sits right here. And you can see it's got a big shielded area. No gases, no nothing. This is where the light workers killed a ship that was underwater. And the same thing, you know, there was nothing around the ship, but they managed to get in, destroy that ship. They tried to hit this, nothing seems to hit that shield, because every bit of damage you throw at the Brookhaven cyclotron seems to be sliding off to another, either parallel Earth or forward and backward through the time chain, and we're not getting any change, no damage, no nothing. Unlike, you know, we've been successfully able to throw damage and discern, and this one we can't seem to. It's well shielded, and that's they're doing, you know, negative stuff. That, and they got to be shut down.
Negative is then very negative.
Yeah. This is their time chamber. I did a screenshot. They're running, you know, reverse full field, major amperage, and the star magnet. That's their the time jump chamber. So they're sending people backwards and forwards through time, as well as to and from parallel Earths. Yeah, they're doing everything they could possibly do to try and get their way.
Right.
We've got to shut them down. Brookhaven's got to be shut down. That is the worst nightmare on the planet.
Where's that one at?
Long Island, New York.
Yeah.
Because these folks got their hands full upstairs, as you can obviously see. So they're not. I mean, they're doing some stuff down here, but it ain't enough, and it ain't fast enough. And I mean, it ain't getting the thousands of people that are down in Dulce Base, frozen, waiting to be food.
Right, right.
It's not even taking the major, you know, ET allied forces and that are playing the power game right now. He's not even getting that done. So, yeah, we got to do this. We got to, you know, shut these folks down and get out of their game. I mean, if everybody's feeding them, they got to stop.
Right. So the way the average person is feeding them is being acidic and negative, and you know,
and playing their game.
Right.
One of the things I'd like to just bring up, it was something that was just, someone just reminded me of something too with the teachings. I think it's really, I've got one of the indigenous friends here that's bringing back some of the different things with the prophecies. Would you like to join us?
I'll throw in a few words.
Okay, he's coming forward. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Close your
Done, sir.
Pattie.
What's that?
Close your screen share for a moment.
Yeah. I've been listening to theories, even on Coast to Coast for a long time, and also talking to Karen.
You have to speak up louder.
You see, we're living in a old light, which also causes the aging process. This place don't exist. It's just a little our imagination. It's like a bubble that don't exist. But when this bubble goes bursting into nothing, we time walk into the real world. Now the real world is where is eternity.
Right.
The world here does not exist in the Creator's mind yet, because the Creator thinks faster than us. We're the created, and we're stuck here to try and learn and resolve our problems here. So,
But
the
this
time
classroom is
Yeah.
corrupted by people who don't belong here.
yeah, the one world government can have this junkyard planets and they can do whatever they want with it, but we have to prepare to time walk it into the real world, or do you have to walk through the holy of holies, where the Creator will strike you dead if you're not know when to walk in there. So there's why the eagle feathers have 28 feathers on it, and why the plume is in the middle, which knows the speed of time and the speed of light, the 12 powers of time. And those elements are just elements. But there's songs and sacred songs at home.
Put your mute, Patty.
That's about it. I'll say. Thank you very much for listening. I hope.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll do another one with him.
Oh,
Okay, that's what the best spot to end this on.
yeah, I think so, very much so. And I really would like to thank, my friends and stuff here for bringing forward some of that stuff. This is really imperative stuff that, people learn a little bit about what we have, with the time walk and what this is. It can offer new hope and, a new dimension to people. And, this is a time of peace and stuff coming in. And so this is why there's such solidity in the people that have the hereditary knowledge. So that's something I think we should, bring forward as well to the people, that have been holding these prophecies and these teachings and the wisdom keepers and the fire keepers for a long time.
Right.
And I wanted to thank you, Andrew, and stuff like that. And thank you for my host and hostess here up here, Lorette and Tim Bigagood. So they've been awesome. Like, while we've been, journeying out in this area and stuff too. And as we continue on the little soul journey here as well. But I think that would be really prolific. The wisdom these people have held for a long time. I've studied and held the teachings for a long time as well.
We'll be doing more updates with them.
All right. Great.
Thank you. And thank you, Karen, 13th
Big witch.
White Bear Clan Mother. And Micmac Elder, Micmac Shaman,
Shaman.
Twin
Shaman, shaman, shamanic.
Twin Spirit, Pattie L. Brassard.